This segment sponsored by Advanced Center for Pain and Rehab.
Welcome back to Marketplace. This morning, Dr. Venturini of Advanced Center for Pain and Rehab joined us to talk all about hips, hip pain, and how that can actually lead to back pain. Let's go over to the couch and take a look. We are once again joined on the couch by Dr. Paul Venturini of Advanced Center for Pain and Rehab, and today's segment is all in the hips. Doctor, what are some of the most common causes of hip pain that you see?
Well, common causes would be muscle, tendon, joint problems. As we get older, and if you have any dysfunction in your hip, you could lead to arthritis. Now, if you have a fall or you have some infection, you got to rule some of that out. But hip problems are more common as we get older, and it's more common because we get weakness, we get stiffness in the muscles around it and in the joint. And also if there's any dysfunction in your feet, that could lead to problems above that, or in your lower back and affect the hip as well.
And so that's what I want to talk about. Can hip pain truly lead to back pain?
Yes, so typical signs and symptoms of a hip problem, you're going to have pain in your buttock, the outside of the hip. If you have arthritis, a lot of times you'll have pain in your groin, but you could also have referred pain from your lower back and your sacroiliac joint into the hip. And you could also get pain running down the leg like a pinched nerve. So they overlap, so therefore, when we're checking the hip, we check the lower back, we check the pelvis, we check the knees, the ankles, and then we specifically check the muscles, the structures in the hip.
And then what are some activities and exercises that can help with this pain?
So simple things like keeping range of motion, so mobility, range of motion in the hip. Strengthening is really important. As we get older, we get weakness in our butt. They call it gluteal amnesia. And so it's one of those things that's very common. So if we're having tightness in the hip and we have weakness in the hip, that's going to put more stress on those joints, those ligaments and tendons. We're going to get inflammation, we're going to get pain. So basically keeping motion in the hip.
And
so
you have this to show.
Yes.
I think it would be better for a visualization for those watching.
So when we look at that, a lot of times people say hip and they point to their pelvis. I'll point to your hip and they point back to their pelvis. The true hip is going to be this ball and socket. So we want to check range of motion of this hip joint, but there's also all kinds of soft tissue around it.
Wow.
Kind of similar to our rotator cuff muscles in the hip or in the shoulder. Same thing in the hip. There's several different muscles, and this is where we have gluteus maximus, medius, minimus, and this is where most of us, as we get older, we get weak in our hips. We don't do exercise for the hips. So doing some type of strengthening, stretching, and also, getting back to stretching, the front part is our hip flexors. People sit prolonged.
This is the front.
This is the front of the pelvis. This is the lower back, or the back side, the posterior side. And when we talk about our hip flexors, they come in the front and then they kind of come down through
right
here.
there.
So yes, so when we assess somebody, we want to know, are they having any referred pain out of their lower back, like a pinched nerve? Are they having any we call sacroiliac joint dysfunction, or is it truly in this hip ball and socket and these muscles? Yeah. So tendinopathy is really common. Hip arthritis is common, but the hip is one of those we want to get motion in the joint and we want to strengthen the muscles around it.
Well, I will link everything on newschannel20.com. Hip pain can lead to back pain, so if you are experiencing any of that, head over to Advanced Center for Pain and Rehab. You can find their website, www.advancedcenterforpain.com. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to watch more segments from Marketplace on News Channel 20.